Good evening, RC News Bulletin at 7. My name is Marka Davis. In the headlines, President George Weah expresses sympathy to families of those who lost their lives in the tanker explosion in Totota on Tuesday. Senator Prince Johnson criticizes the nomination of Justice Minister Musadin as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia, says the decision is untimely. Aggrieved contractors at the Painesville City Corporation are protesting for their 5-month pay. And out of Liberia, Ethiopia's war-scarred Tigray region is on the verge of a humanitarian catastrophe comparable to the famine in 1984-85 that prompted a global fundraising music event Live Aid, a regional leader has said. Those are the headlines. Now the news in detail. President George Weah has expressed his sympathy to the families of those who lost their lives in a major fire incident in the central Liberian town of Totota in Bon County. President Weah said images of the tragedy are deeply disturbing and calls on the public to reach out to the affected families as the Liberian National Red Cross and other requisite institutions of government aid with recovery and treatment efforts. Liberia's chief medical officer, Dr. Francis Kete, has said so far about 50 deaths have been recorded since a tanker transporting fuel made an accident and later exploded. It is reported that some locals in the area attempted to loot the content of the trapped container when the explosion happened. Dozens of injured people from the incident have been transported to various hospitals across the country. The president has said health authorities have got his full backing to beef up manpower and equipment where necessary in their frantic attempt to save lives. He calls on the families of those who lost their lives to take solace in the Lord. At the same time, President George Weah has that proclamation declared this Monday, January 1, 2024, as New Year's Day, and it is to be observed throughout the Republic as a national holiday. The proclamation calls on all citizens and foreign residents within the Republic to observe the day. According to a foreign ministry release, the proclamation further orders and directs all citizens and foreign residents within the borders in solemn cooperation with all prelates, priests, deacons, evangelists, imams, and others, regardless of religious creed. The proclamation further indicated that under the Patriotic Cultural Observance Law, Title 25, Liberian Code of Laws of 1956, the first day of January each year is set aside as a national holiday to be known as New Year's Day and appropriately celebrated. The Foreign Ministry release noted that the day affords many citizens and residents of Liberia the opportunity to celebrate the infinite goodness and mercy of the Almighty, who has blessed and prospered the work of the minds, hearts, and hands of all the people of Liberia during the previous year. Senator Prince Johnson has criticized the nomination of Justice Minister Musadin as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia. The Nima County Senator said the nomination is untimely and is a cover-up plan to prevent the incoming administration from achieving some of its agenda, including auditing and prosecuting officials of the Weah-led government found in acts of corruption and other crimes. Senator Johnson said under the watch of Councillor Dean as Attorney General of the country, there were many mysterious deaths in the country and there were no outcome of the investigations reportedly conducted. He referenced the deaths of Gifty Lama, Matthew Innes, Emmanuel Nyansua, the 3 missing boys from St. Moses, amongst others. Addressing a press conference Friday in Painesville, Senator Johnson vowed to reject Councillor Musadin when he appears at the Senate for confirmation and wants his fellow senators do the same. He noted that while President Weah has the constitutional power to appoint and nominate, his latest decision is untimely, and he should allow the new administration to make the nomination. Aggrieved contractors at the Painesville City Corporation are protesting for their 5-month pay The protesters on Friday morning set roadblock to the main entrance of the city corporation, demanding that the PTC settles their 5-month benefits. Speaking to reporters, one of the protesters, Lawman, said it has been 5 months since the administration refused to pay contractors. According to Lawman, their protest action is peaceful and intended to draw the attention of national government. Also speaking, another protester, John Napeka, expressed sadness of being treated like foreigners in their own country, where they leave their homes early in the morning to work, but they cannot receive salaries for 5 months. They threaten a continuous protest until the management of the Pittsville City Corporation can settle their arrears. The Liberia Council of Churches has extended condolences to family members of individuals who lost their lives in a tragic fuel tanker explosion Total Bond County. LCC, through a release, also expressed sadness and described the unfortunate situation as a national disaster that must claim the attention of Liberians irrespective of their association. According to the council, with such a horrific nightmare, it is important for national stake actors to carry out public awareness to educate and inform Liberians on a number of issues that will affect their well-being if precautions and care is not taken seriously. The ecumenical body believes that thousands of Liberians are not conscious minded of the danger these incidents pose to their lives. The council called on relevant agencies of government responsible to do all in their powers to alert citizens on how to avoid incidents like fire, flood, and other natural disasters. At the same time, the Council of Churches is commending health authorities for a swift intervention to ensure that those injured from the explosion are taken care of at various health centers across the country. The Liberia Council of Churches is also requesting all churches to offer prayers during their worship services for victims of the Tuesday, December 26th fuel explosion that led to the death of about 50 persons. The Council of Churches also presented 250 United States dollars as initial contribution to the victims' families. A conglomeration of civil society organizations led by Good Governance Initiative has called on the Liberian Senate to confirm Councillor Frank Musa Dean to the Supreme Court bench following his recent nomination by President George Weah. Councillor Dean is Liberia's current Justice Minister and has been nominated as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia to replace Councillor Joseph Nangbe, who sought early retirement. Since the nomination of Councillor Dean, some Liberians, including political pundits, have been questioning his integrity, while others believe the Liberian leader has made the best decision. Addressing a news conference Friday in Monrovia, the executive director of Good Governance Initiative, Jeremiah Bryant, said the confirmation of the nominee will improve and better the judicial system of the country. He described Councillor Dean as an astute and renowned legal mind whose records of accomplishments are visible and impeccable in the eyes of the Liberian people. Meanwhile, the executive director of Good Governance Initiative has urged all CSOs to not succumb to those he termed as mere propagandists trying to undermine the credibility of Councillor Musa Dean. Jeremiah Bryant further described as unfortunate and uncivilized the behaviors of those he called so-called propagandists who are influencing civil society activists and some media outlets with cash to ruin the confirmation of Minister Dean as Associate Justice. The president of the Lacoste College of Education, Dr. Benjamin Way, has identified 4 pillars as the institution's strategic direction going forward in 2024. Dr. Way named accessibility, quality, relevance, and 21st century infrastructure as the 4 major pillars of Lacoste College of Education. Speaking Friday at the final reflection, review, and celebration of Lacoste College of Education 2023, Dr. Way said the retreat was intended to present the college's strategic direction, making sure that every member of the institution is on board. He noted that during the meeting, there were recognition of outstanding teachers and administrators at various Lacoste sites across Liberia. Meanwhile, Dr. Benjamin Way, who is USAID Best Teacher of the Year 2023, used the occasion to recount on the challenges and difficulties faced by Lacoste's College of Education over the years. He posted that the college is now a BSc degree granting institution that is competing with several colleges and universities in Liberia. The Chief Executive Officer of the Anthony Woolley Foundation has announced the groundbreaking for several projects across District 2 Monserrato County. Anthony Woolley named some of the projects as Youth Center, where the young people will be able to meet and discuss, bridge connecting communities that are mostly affected during the reading season, as well as vocational schools. According to him, with the level of support from the partners in progress, the various community dwellers in the district, the foundation is poised to do more in the new year. Woolley further disclosed that his foundation takes at heart the issue of health. As such, more emphasis will be placed on the promotion of basic health care across the district. A prayer team for the success of the Boakai administration has been established in Liberia. The Christian-based prayer team comprises of members from the 15 counties of Liberia with the aim of seeking the protection of the UP government by God. Making the disclosure Friday, Pastor Roland Chester said God revealed to members of the Christian denomination to seek his intervention upon President-elect Joseph Boakai. According to Pastor Chester, their decision was triggered by the reception accorded members of the Christian community compared to that of the CDC government. He expressed confidence that the UP administration will succeed under President-elect Joseph Boakai and his Vice President-elect. Meanwhile, Pastor Roland Chester has blasted the CDC government for what he calls flagrant disrespect to members of the Christian community in Liberia. And out of Liberia, now in foreign news, Ethiopia's war-scarred Tigray region is on the verge of a humanitarian catastrophe comparable to the famine in 1984-1985 that prompted the global fundraising music event. The regional leader has said. His starkly worded statement said starvation and death were hovering over the Northern region. The federal authorities have denied there is a famine. Until November last year, Tigray and the central government were at war. Hundreds of thousands are thought to have died as a result of the 24-month conflict between the federal army, its allies, and Tigrayan forces, according to BBC. To end this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. President George Weah expresses sympathy to the families of those who lost their lives in Tuesday's explosion in Totota, Bong County. Senator Prince Johnson criticizes the nomination of Justice Minister Musa Dean as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, says the nomination is untimely. Aggrieved contractors at the Pinzio City Corporation are protesting for their 5-month salaries. And out of Liberia, Ethiopia's war-scarred Tigray region is on the verge of a humanitarian catastrophe comparable to the famine in 1984-85 that prompted the global fundraising music event Live Aid, a regional leader has said. As RCR News Bulletin at 7, my name is Marka Davis.
Starting today, why not have a little more fun? Why not use money this easily? Why not get even closer to family? Why not work how you've always wanted? Fun money, family, work. No network keeps you connected to it all, quite like Orange. It's all about what matters to you. Orange.